welcome you back once again to the Sunshine State for Cavs Training Camp Nightly right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. John Michael, Serena Winters, and Tim Alcorn. It is day 3 of Cavs Camp of Camp Atkinson. Today's a little lighter day, and Isaac Okoro has shown himself to be a multi-sport athlete.
Yeah, I mean, throwing the football around here this morning. Forget the basketball.
Caught a couple of bombs.
He did.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was really nice. Speaking of bombs, he also, Isaac I'm talking about, hit the corner 3 to win the scrimmage yesterday. So plenty of talk about him. Kenny Atkinson was saying they want to diversify his game this year, make him a little bit more of a slasher, a cutter, more of an offensive rebounder, and just really raise his game.
Yeah, a lot of people really excited about that signing. It was the 4th one of 4. His extension, Isaac Okoro's. Of course, he's the best perimeter defender. You know, when you think about going up against teams in the East, really in the entire NBA, with big, strong wings, the Giannis's, the Jason Tatums, Isaac Okoro is so essential, and he's had a strong opening 2 days of camp.
Yeah, J. Mike, Serena was a signing that somewhat flew under the radar with Donovan and Jarrett and Evan, but Isaac is a critical piece, and as Kenny mentioned during our show yesterday, they want to start at the defensive end to maintain that elite level of defense, and Isaac is a huge part of that.
Well, another critical piece is Evan Mobley. We're going to catch up with Evan today. We've heard his name probably more than any others in terms of how things are going to look a little bit differently this season with his usage and with his role.
Speaking of his usage, that's the word that keeps coming up with Kenny Atkinson, and they really want to diversify his skill set, make him more of a playmaker. They've said that it starts in transition. They want him to really be rebounding and pushing, also be more focused on offensive rebounding. So we got to see some tastes of that yesterday, him moving off the ball as well, and so it'll be interesting to see how that can really help this entire team this year.
Getting him downhill too, right, Tim?
Yeah, he's a great athlete, so take advantage of that athleticism. So I think for Evan to see him get unlocked this year is going to be really exciting.
If you look ahead of the show, if you like the big man, you've come to the right place, or the Hogs, as our producer Leo Simone likes to call them, the guys who get down and dirty inside. It's going to be fun. Jarrett Allen will join us in the second part of the show. So Evan Mobley straight ahead, on to Jarrett Allen right here on Cavs Training Camp Nightly. And back on the campus of IMG Academy. This is Cavs Training Camp Nightly on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. And here is one of our favorite 7-footers. It is Evan Mobley. Yeah, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
The last time we saw you was Game 5 of the second round, a dominant performance, 33 points, 7 rebounds, a couple of blocks. I know it's never a good taste in your mouth when the season ends, but you have a performance like that. Does that springboard you into the offseason?
Definitely propelled me into this next upcoming season. This whole offseason I've been working hard, just trying to get better with my skill set offensively, and I feel like it's definitely paid off so far.
We have heard your name more than any others out of the coaching staff in terms of what we may see differently next season. Your usage rate likely will increase. My guess is that's a pretty exciting thing, huh?
Yeah, very exciting. I feel like the coaching staff has done a great job of just incorporating me within the offense and putting me in different spots for me to attack and play make for my teammates.
And speaking of that series against Boston, Kenny Atkinson had mentioned looking at that series and seeing you with the ball in your hands, and that's kind of what he's looking for this season. We've already seen a little bit of it out there with you in scrimmaging, but has that been a mindset shift for you?
Yeah, definitely. The whole offseason, that's what I've been working on. Me and the coaching staff has been going over film on where I can attack from, and we're implementing an offense that's really going to benefit us and the whole entire team.
You've spent your entire career alongside Darius Garland, point guard. How much of your conversation's been about that? What are you trying to learn about what and how you guys can both play off each other even better this year?
Yeah, me and him are just going to keep building our chemistry. I feel like we already have a great chemistry overall, but just keep building that throughout this training camp and throughout the offseason. We've been playing together as well, so that's really the main goal.
Evan, at Kenny's introductory news conference, he was asked about unlocking you. And he said, I want Evan to play with his eyes on the rim, run the floor with his eyes on the rim. For Cavs fans, define what that means, playing with your eyes on the rim.
That just means me being in an attack mindset and always looking for my opportunity to score, getting to the rim, and after that, then look to pass, play make, and do all the other things that I'm capable of doing.
How do you see your game evolving this year?
I see it evolving a lot. Just me having the ball in my hands, bringing the ball up, coming off screens every so often, shooting the ball more from three, and just a lot of different things that you haven't seen so far.
So it's day 3 of camp. We come in here expecting implementation of more X's and O's, and we get a football scrimmage. I like this guy in the secondary, by the way,
Yeah.
with that
I thought that was
wingspan
good.
in there.
I was
It was
impressed.
pretty impressive. Things are a little bit different here in Camp Atkinson. How so?
Yeah, it's a little lighthearted, but also very serious at the same time. Today was definitely a mental day. Had a little fun to start with, a little warm-up of football and all that. Had a little fun, and then after that, got into our little breakdowns and just had a mental day.
Who impressed you the most football-wise out there on the floor?
Football-wise, probably Isaac. He caught
He
a few
caught some bombs.
Yeah, he caught a few touchdowns. I was like, okay, his hands definitely improved.
Who would you choose as your quarterback?
Quarterback, I don't know. I was watching Sam throw the ball around after. He seemed like he's a pretty good quarterback, so I'll probably choose Sam.
Yeah, two-sport athlete. He did play. Sam played in high school. Yeah.
Hey, you mentioned kind of the lightheartedness here and today being a mental day, and this entire experience at Sarasota, it seems like there's been so many bonding experiences, right? Like you have film the other night and we hear about trivia night, which we heard you didn't do so good at, by the way.
Me?
Not you
Yeah.
personally. Your
No,
team.
we
We were
won.
told your team
We won.
didn't have a good.
won.
Oh, see
Oh.
this?
I don't know who told y'all that. We
Interesting.
won. We
Okay.
won. Me, Sam, JT Thor, and Isaac.
You won.
Yeah,
We're
we
not too-
won.
We got all kind of.
We do.
Yeah.
We're stirring up the pot here on Cavs Training Camp
We'll get to
Nightly.
the
is what
bottom of
we're
this
doing.
by
We
the
will.
end of the week.
We will.
We promise.
We heard some guys were hitting biodegradable golf balls into
yeah.
the water.
Yeah.
Pete Nance was fishing.
Yeah.
You know, just talk to us a little bit about this entire experience here in Sarasota so far.
It's been great so far. Just having training camp here at IMG, great campus, has been great. And then back at the hotel, just having dinners and hitting golf balls into the water. Me, Sam, Max, George, just doing that. Pete out there fishing and everything, catching fish, eating dinner, and then trivia night. We got the dub. I don't know who told you different,
Okay.
but yeah, it's just been a great experience overall.
So you were part of the crew hitting golf balls out there.
Yeah.
How's your
yeah.
swing?
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. But I don't golf. I don't claim that I golf, but I'm gonna get into it real soon.
Who had the best swing out there?
I would say Max or Sam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there an Evan Mobley trivia question?
There was one. It was like who scored 30 points last season besides Darius, Donovan, and somebody else. And it was like me and who scored the other one? Dean. I forgot.
Maybe that Boston
Did you
comeback
get
game?
your own?
Did
Did you get your own question right?
Yeah,
Darius
I got mine.
Darius told us he missed
Oh,
his
no,
own question.
yeah. That was the question. Yeah, Darius was the answer. It was me and Darius didn't even get it. I was like, yeah, it was crazy.
And Darius may or may not have been the guy that said.
It's- well,
well, we won't throw Darius in the bus.
We're not naming names. Hey, I mean, you've been around long enough. You've seen this team progress, right? Now to the second round of the playoffs. If this team is going to take the next steps, where must that happen out on the floor in terms of maybe the X's and O's or areas of this team's game that need to improve?
Just us playing together during the crunch times when it gets hard. That's the biggest thing. We can't fold. We can't crack or break between the seams. We just all got to stay together, play as one unit, and then also with the coaching staff as well, be on the same page through those hard times.
Do you think the bumps need to be more offensively or defensively?
I would say more offensively. I feel like defensively overall, we had a great season the past few years. Defensively, just offensively, we just got to be on the same page the whole time.
What have just your impressions been of how things are a little bit different under Kenny, how things are run, and really the coaching staff in general? You've got to start from scratch in a way of developing those relationships with your coaching staff again.
Yeah, it's definitely been a little journey. I feel like he came out to during the summer to visit some of us, so that made it real easy.
That means something extra to you that he did that?
Yeah, for sure. Right when he got hired, it was like first flight out. He came out to see a lot of the guys and really try to build a camaraderie and chemistry between us. And since then, I feel like it's been going great overall.
Does he ever sit down, by the way? Because that man, I haven't seen the guy sit down since we've been here.
He's very active. Sometimes he'll just hop in the drill with shoes on, shoes off. I mean, he's active.
Yeah.
When your head coach is standing there, do you throw a real hard pick on him?
I don't know. It depends on what's going on.
He gets out there. He gets into it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Ev, thanks so much for joining us, the perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Have another great season, my friend.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, from big man to big man, Jarrett Allen is straight ahead. Welcome back as Big Man Day continues right here on Cavs Training Camp Nightly as we welcome in another 7-footer. It is Jarrett Allen. Jarrett, always good to see you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Jarrett, Kenny Atkinson was your coach when you were a 19-year-old rookie. When you first heard that Kenny was being considered for the new head coaching job, what was your reaction?
I was excited. I'm always been a fan of Kenny. You know, he's seen me grow since I came in the league. He's always been there to cheer me on. So I was excited that it was a possibility for him to be my coach.
When you have to point to things that he taught you as a young player and as you developed over the next couple of years, where would you start?
Just the fundamentals of basketball. You know, I came in as a very raw player, underdeveloped, and I just had to learn the game. I had to learn how to set certain screens, certain defenses, and just do all of that.
Mentioned Kenny and having the experience there already with him, but I find it interesting that Kenny also added a new assistant coach and Damari Carroll to the staff, who you also happen to have been teammates with in Brooklyn. So there's an additional connection there. What's it like having somebody that was a teammate of yours and now he's coach?
Does that make you feel old or make him feel old?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you call him?
Yeah.
What do you call him, Jay?
The relationship still stands as us being players, and it is a little weird him being like, "J.A., get to the corner. You got to do this now."
You're like, hey, shut up.
Right? Yeah, come on. But now it's a good feeling. I'm happy to see him succeed, but at the same time, it's like, you're still my teammate.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, like how quickly time flies, though, in the NBA, right? I mean, John was just mentioning your rookie year, and now being here for this many years and having teammates be coaches. How do you reflect on kind of where you're at now?
Right. I just look back and be thankful for the journey I had. You know, I've always had a steady growth in the league, and I've always been able to improve every single year. And then, like I said, with the fundamental piece in Brooklyn, and now I've been able to shine and showcase my game in Cleveland.
Jarrett, you've talked about your growth since the Brooklyn days with Kenny. Is Kenny different now than he was in Brooklyn? Now, it's only been a few days, but are you seeing differences in Kenny that perhaps you didn't see in Brooklyn?
So far, just a little bit. He's more relaxed a little bit. You know, he's
Really?
more. Yeah, I know.
That's him being relaxed.
That's him being relaxed.
That's not
He
the answer we
was
were
No,
anticipating.
it is not.
Very
answer to that.
intense, and he still has that intensity, but it's more he's relaxed, looking at things in a different light. More experience. He knows how to run things differently.
Jarrett, a couple of years ago, we talked to you when you signed your previous contract, and one of the things that your teammates and coaching staff raved about is that you were one of the first ones in the gym. You took that as a responsibility, not as something where you take a deep breath and sit back. You sign another extension over the summer. What's your approach been here? I'm guessing it's the same, but as you come in here and you get that signed, what are your thoughts as you come into camp?
You know me. I just keep it steady. You know, I've been doing the same thing since I got in the league. You know, just putting my head down and continue to work, and that's not going to change at all.
You and a number of other players, 3 to be exact, sign extensions. Continuity was a big goal, and that's exactly what we're going to get. Where are the next steps for this team, in big part because you all know each other's game and can continue to progress together?
Right. I think it's for us just growing as individual players. We're all young players. We're all still trying to find our footing in this league. And as a team together, we're still trying to find our footing. Every single year we've been together, we've been improving, we've been getting further in the playoffs, we've been understanding how to be a playoff team every single year. And now it's just putting years on top of years and becoming better together.
We had the opportunity to catch up with Evan as well, and one of the storylines of this year has kind of been his usage, right? And him also adding playmaking more to his skill set and rebounding and pushing and, just starting plays in trail. Big to big, watching his growth and seeing him also add that aspect to his game. What do you think that can do for the team?
Firstly, I'm super excited. I've always been a huge fan of Evan. I've always wanted to see him succeed. And just seeing his growth from the rookie year, it's phenomenal. I'm super excited for him to be able to showcase what his skill set is this year, and I think it's going to propel this team super far.
Is he any more talkative this year, or is it just same old Evan?
Same old Evan.
Okay, yeah, I think we got our answer.
I'm trying to be nice, but I have nothing else to say.
Jarrett, I want to go back to earlier this week. It seems like it was 2 weeks ago already with Media Day, but you mentioned on Monday your goal is to play all 82 games. That's a big statement, and fans might think, well, you're playing basketball, but talk about the mental and physical grind of going through an entire season and to have that goal to play in every single game.
Yeah, it's definitely a grind. It's definitely something you have to put your mind to be able to do. Waking up every single day, doing the same thing over and over again. It sounds easy, but at the end of the day, it's not, especially in this league. So I just want to put my head down, work, and just try to not let my team down in that sense.
So to follow that up, preparation-wise, is it more of a challenge to prepare physically or mentally?
I would say mentally. Our bodies are capable of almost anything physically. Former Cav LeBron said that we're professional athletes. We're able to do a lot more than we think we're capable of. So at this point, it's just the mental side of wanting to do it.
I know you were frustrated. You talked to Media Day about the injury. And, you had played, people forget, you had played 77 straight, missed the first 5 games of the season, played 77 straight, and were dominant early in that Orlando series, 38 rebounds through the first 2 games. And then we go into the second round, you have to sit there and see the Cavs take on a Celtics team that if they have any vulnerability, maybe it's in the middle. It would have been a Jarrett Allen type series. Take us through what that was like, for you to, A, have to sit there and watch your teammates, and B, motivation-wise, what that meant for you coming into the offseason.
Yeah, that was tough. It's one of those injuries you can't control. We were talking about it earlier. It's just one, you feel it with every single thing you do. And the thing that frustrated me, I wanted to play, but I knew that every time I worked out, I still had the pain, and I wouldn't be able to help the team as much as I wanted to. I felt I was going to be more of a detriment if I went out on the court. So this summer, I just wanted to be there. I want to be able to be on the court with the guys and be able to just proceed like we did last year.
And you said, too, that, with the scans, there's still a piece of bone floating around in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this was not a minor injury, in other words. You were dying to play.
It was one of those, you never know how bad it is until it happens to you.
We chatted with Darius Garland, who just lights up when he talks about you and the relationship that you two have, both on and off the court. When you think about the growth that you've seen from him and getting to play alongside him, and also just you've seen when he plays with that joy. You've seen when he plays so free, and he had a really hard year mentally last year, obviously physically with what he went through.
Right.
Seeing him get back to that mental side that we talked, that form, how good is that to see?
It's so good to see DG come back to his form. Like you said, it was tough for him last year. I can't imagine having your mouth wired shut, only drinking through a straw, and then trying to have to come back and then fit into the team again. But I think he did pretty well, all things considered. He came in and he did his job, and he was starting to get back into form before the season ended. But now he has, 4 months to, reset, regain weight. I think he's going to come in and be his old self again, happy, cheerful, and sharing the ball.
Can you share with the fans a story that you told me the other day? I'd asked you what the most interesting thing you did this summer was, and somehow you wound up in Death Valley on the hottest day of the year?
Anniversary of the hottest day.
Anniversary of the hottest day of the year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We drove to Death Valley this summer, and we went to Badwater Basin, the lowest point in the U.S. And, oh, man, it was like, I think it was like 114 officially. On the car, it said 130. I thought our tires were going to melt.
Nothing about that sounds fun. What?
It was
Anything
experience.
rewarding?
You would think the wind would help. It made it so much worse.
Is that right?
Yes.
How so?
It becomes a blast furnace, right?
Yeah. It's like opening the oven. I'm serious.
So this humidity in Sarasota, which is beautiful out here though in IMG Academy,
amazing,
this is nothing compared to what you experience.
It's a dry heat over there.
Yeah.
Oh, sure it is. Yeah, dry heat. Jarrett, you alluded to the fact, as did J. Mike, you got a chip floating through your body right now. Pardon the pun, but is there a chip on your shoulder and on this team's shoulder that, hey, we weren't able to really show what we could have done in postseason last year?
There is, and we all know it. We all know we weren't able to showcase how we wanted. You know, people started getting hurt. It was just a season riddled with injuries again, you know, and we know that we're capable of more than we showed.
Jared, thanks so much for joining us. We can't wait for another huge season out of you. Best of luck as we head into the regular season.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you.
All right, we'll be back after this to wrap things up right here on Cavs Training Camp Nightly. All right, we're back to wrap things up on Cavs Training Camp Nightly, an entertaining show, and it continues tomorrow with the newest Cav and the most experienced Cav.
Let's just say it continues with the Rook and the Vet. We've got Jalen Tyson and Tristan Thompson on the show tomorrow.
That should be one unique conversation as far as guys and their look at the NBA.
Day 4 of Camp Atkinson is tomorrow right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.